Welcome to West Virginia Commonplace. This is demo episode number 4. Stacey and I are apart right now, and we are testing out the phone feature. I probably should have called someone else, but she is my favorite person on earth. So, Stacey, how have you been?
Doing pretty good. How have you been?
Doing.
I mean, I just seen you earlier today, but we've been apart for a couple hours now, so I got to check in on you.
I'm doing pretty well. So let's catch people up on a few things real quick, because like I said, obviously we have the extra show that's on Acast now, which is the collection show, which you probably don't agree with. Do you not agree with that show?
It's going to serve its purpose for what you want to try to achieve. I feel that you know my opinion. I mean, to me, I feel like you should put something new out there, but to kind of test the waters, it's going to work for right now.
All right, so a major question that I get on Verbal is why haven't we covered any TV shows? Like, why aren't we covering She-Hulk? Like, what is your take? Like, let's not do the episode on She-Hulk right now, but do you enjoy She-Hulk?
Yes and no. It's hard to answer that question, and I think a lot of times of why to go to original question. A lot of times the reason why we don't review TV shows is because one, we really enjoy the show, so we're binge watching the whole thing, or it is we struggle through the first episode, so it makes it hard to even talk about.
And I can agree with that. Like a show like Justified. Justified,
Yes,
we could go back and review it by watching episodes every other night and enjoy it.
right. That was one where the first episode it was just kind of like, oh, okay, I'll watch this with you. This is something you enjoy. Let me see how it goes. Let me keep my mouth shut. Let me just try to get used to it. And then by the end, I'm like, I don't want this to be done. I need more information. I want to know more. I want another season.
And you will soon be getting that season. Now, let's go into some other things. We cover different events. We've been watching wrestling. Wrestling had a little bit of a fallout with CM Punk and different things like that. So we both kind of moved away from wrestling for a little bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and we're going to use our voodoo conversation, I guess, a little bit on this one. I think the main reason why we got away from it is one due to COVID, where they fired a whole lot of wrestlers or laid them off, I guess, and because everybody was in that pandemic state of mind, which is, everybody's got to do what they got to do, whatever you believe in, whatever you feel, that's your business, not mine. Um, and it took away your fans. And me personally, I'm the type of person, if I don't have that fan interaction to see how people are going to react and stuff like that to the wrestlers, it's harder for me to stay in with it. So they didn't have the fans. So, like you said, we kind of got out of it. And I think my biggest turn away from that is they had this whole big old huge buildup for the female wrestlers. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yep, nope, let's kick them to the curb. And like, I know that they have the women's tag team belt, but I feel like the women are treated as a joke right now, especially in the WWE area.
And I can agree with that because like women's wrestling was on point for a little bit, and then it's
Hmm.
just like all of a sudden it just fell off, and it's like when are we going to get back to the time when wrestling was amazing? When the women's revolution and this and that was going on. Like I really used to pull for Becky Lynch, and now I can't even tell you the last time I've seen Becky Lynch, or I don't even know where she is. Um, and I'll tell you what my turnoff was, and I don't know if this is the same for you. We went out here, we got a PlayStation 5, we got an Xbox One Series X 3000 or whatever the fuck it's called, and or
Language.
I'm sorry, the X series. And sorry about that, young children that pay attention to the show. I did not say a cuss word in a mean manner. So, so either way, like I play this game, and we've had this tried and true. Like you can play any game before this one with me, and the controls. It don't matter what system we're on, unless it's the horrible version on Nintendo Switch. Um, but you can play those.
Hmm.
When I got this new game, it made me feel like because of the pandemic and everything else, oh, we're gonna just change up the style. Now, I will say WWE 2020 was horrible, but this new WWE with the new mechanics and everything else, like it made me not like wrestling because of that. I know that sounds like really weird, but
I mean, you got beat two or three matches in a row by an 8-year-old that just spams buttons.
right, and that's not life. And I consider myself a gamer. I don't take no lickings in Street Fighter or or Mario Kart on 50cc. But I got beat by an 8-year-old, and then I got beat by his
Right.
brother after that.
Right.
And those were my turnoffs there. Now, let me ask you about this too, because we talk about pop culture and everything else. What has been like the downturn in video games? Like, I say this to myself, like I'm running back playing older games that I don't even like. Sometimes, obviously for streaming purposes, but like I found a game on PlayStation, and I'm not a PlayStation fan at all, but I found the amazing game on PlayStation 4, Fish of the North Star, because that's what I'm into this week is Fish of the North Star. Next week it'll be something else. And like I like playing that, and that's all I want to play. Like I got tons of games, all this other stuff. Like, what has happened to you in video games? Like, what is your feel? Like, what do you like to play now? What do you like to get into?
See, like, it's hard for me to sit down and play like actual video games on um, consoles. Um, I don't enjoy I don't enjoy first person shooter games. Sorry, my accent's coming out there a little bit. My blood relationship there. um, I don't enjoy first person shooter games. I can't play anything where I have to drive. I I like to play games that have a storyline built in, like Knack for the PS4. I'm a PS4 person, Nintendo's. I don't care for Xbox very well. I mean, it's not awful, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting it down, but I didn't grow up with the Xbox um, category of gaming. Um, but I need something with the storylines. There has to be a point to my game, and I do a lot of time on the PC with The Sims 4 currently.
And doing that is because like you kind of like you said earlier, you make a storyline, right?
Mm-hmm.
You watch your curation, what you decided to create, you watch it flourish, right?
Right.
And I'll give you an example. Like in our relationship playing video games, we were Fire Emblem Warrior fans,
Yes, the
and
first one,
the first
initial
one,
one.
the first initial one, and the second one we bought it, played it, but we didn't. We haven't really sat down and played it again. We'll have to get back into it, but
Right.
after initially playing Fire Emblem Warriors with you, then we ran through those god awful Zelda games. Which that first Zelda
Yeah.
wasn't bad. It's like the sequels for these games suck. These
Mhm.
Dynasty Warrior games because that's what they're from. It's like the sequels they just don't care. And like I said, we haven't played Fire Emblem Warrior to even say that we played it, or the second one to say that we played it long enough to see if it was good or not. Right.
Right.
So like with me, we tried another game. We played The Simpsons on Xbox 360 with the shoddy ass controllers.
Hmm.
And it was like we were having fun with it, but you could hardly jump where you wanted to go, right?
Right. I think we were having issues with controllers. And see, I think the reason why we got so heavy into it is I don't care what anybody says about the pandemic, and we lost a lot of people, and that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm glad for the lockup type situation, like, because we had so much fun during that time, because we were able to just be alone, be ourselves, and we basically got to do whatever we wanted to. If we could have skipped everything else that happened within that time, that would have been great. But I feel like you played a lot more games at that point. I was able to play a lot more along with you, but now we're, back into the active times, I guess, if you want to consider it that way. We're both back to work more. I mean, I never stopped working, but um, I picked up my second and third jobs with you. So we're always just doing more. And it's hard to actually just sit down and enjoy it. I mean, you picked up your extra career slash hobby of podcasting, and I mean, I dabble into a little bit of everything, and I'm trying to start my whole t-shirt and cup and product making business, and we just we don't make a lot of time for games anymore.
Right, right, and I feel it sometimes. I mean, I do the streaming, but and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. But the streaming, except for the game that I'm playing now on PlayStation, the other stuff I do is a chore. Like I know I've got to get out here and try to play something so that these people have it, so they keep continually coming back, even if it's only 8 people or anything like that. One
Right.
quick shameless plug I want to throw in here is that Stacey does have an Etsy store, and she makes amazing shirts. Could you please give us a quick plug for that? Tell us the name of your store and where they can find your product.
Well, I mean, I am on Etsy. I have a small Facebook. I also have an Instagram that I haven't posted a single story to yet. And I came up with the name with the help of my high school best friend, Erica. Um, we call it WV Tater Totes, like a potato tater, Tater, and then totes, like a sack bag, like TOTES. And we came up with that because we kind of want to get started in the reusable shopping bags because, we feel like a lot of areas are going to come to that. And she is big into the West Virginia Farmers Market Association. And a lot of times they prefer to use reusable shopping bags instead of the plastics because it's better for the environment. And once we can get all the legalities and everything like that figured out, we'll get some, you know, custom designs put out there for people to enjoy and pick from.
And I'm glad you're doing that. And she does an amazing job with the t-shirts. Still working for me part time because she's hired me as a social media guy for her efforts. I hope in the near future, so we can barter off t-shirts and stickers,
Right.
QR codes, and anything like that. If you need that kind of stuff, definitely find her on Instagram. She can work with you on fees and get things worked out. If you're a podcaster and you need help with those type of things, she's really good at that. So definitely make sure you check that out and roll along with that. And I will say that this has been a nice experience on the telephone with someone using the Zoom recorder because I'm not even hooked into a computer. I just had the microphone hooked in and then the module with the AUX cord and the adapter from the lightning cable. So that's a lot of stuff to say. But basically, we're having a conversation right now, no computer involved. And it's amazing. This little device has come in handy. One thing I'll say, because we've done quite a few episodes on it, just using both the two little microphones. Would you say probably it was the best investment inside the podcast?
I think it was a very good investment. I feel like we should have done a trial call first and make sure everything was going to work properly. Because, we have this whole big old conversation and hopefully it doesn't mess up on us like it did the one time.
Yeah, because we did have the fire episode, but I'm actually looking at the volumes
We
and the
did.
different things that are going up and down. And I have your volume just a little high, so I'll turn it a little low. And I got mine a little too low. But the episode is recording. It's everything's working out pretty well for it right now.
Right.
I just hope to God that I did turn on the phantom power for my microphone. If I didn't, then I'll learn about it later.
Right. We'll have to try again.
So, audience, just like with anything we do, this was just like a little quick 14, 15-minute episode. I do want to dive into two major topics with Stacey because we don't get to talk about this stuff with Stacey because we get her on the air once in a while and she's just doing this to be nice tonight because she's like, oh, he's gonna cut into my talk time if I don't help him out, so I'll help him do the show tonight. So two major questions, Stacey. Are you ready for us to put you on the hot seat?
We'll see what the questions are first.
Oh snap! So you're a thug. All right. So here's my thing. What has happened in life to make people so difficult? Like, have you noticed? Like, it's just treachery with people. Like, I hate to say this, but I like the people that I deal with in the augmented reality of social media and the people I deal with in real life. I don't even want to have lunch with some of the people that I deal with.
I don't know if you want my true answer on that. I mean,
We want it.
okay. this is going to sound that rude, and you know my feeling. And I don't mean every single person when I say this. There's a few people, and if I haven't met you, I don't exactly mean you. I just mean certain people in general. I hate people. And that's my thing. But like, if you're nice and you're respectful and you don't cause any problems, you don't fall under that category with me. But if you're the type of person that thinks you're entitled to anything and everything, and you don't think your feet stink, like I don't have time for you. I don't have the energy to put you in my life or to deal with you. So just stay away. And oh my gosh, we're getting into the time where cancel culture is huge. Like, oh, I made a mistake and I said something that I probably shouldn't have, or I worded something incorrectly, and people are out here just canceling people for that. Like, grow up. Like move on quick. Like, if you have to run your mouth, say your piece and move on. Like, people make mistakes. You act like, you did nothing wrong. And I can't stand people like that. And then that kind of ties in with the drivers. Like, I can't stand to be on the road with somebody because to me, everybody's a bad driver.
and I can agree with that to a certain degree. What gets me is like, and I deal with people in certain. I'm really controlling in how I deal with people. I deal with you on my time. I don't just
Right.
deal with people because they want me to deal with them. So like I've gotten way more. I have control issues. I believe I don't tolerate a lot of things, and I don't allow anybody to disrespect. Disrespect is something that I just won't tolerate out of anybody,
Right.
unless it's no, I don't tolerate disrespect because if it happens with anybody that's in my life, I know how to correct them really quick.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just I've had to remove myself from a lot of people because I'm just like, man, I can't deal with fuckery, and I did use a bad word then, and I'm sorry, audience. Just wanted to get that out there. So on to the next question, and we covered it in Marvel Y, the episode where we talked about Marvel Y, this phase that we're in, and I'm gonna be honest with the audience, I don't know what phase we're in. I think it's phase 5 or 4. I don't know, but to you, does it feel like Disney has rushed out a bunch of bullshit?
I do. Like, we're going to kind of get into the whole She-Hulk thing. I feel like a lot of it is rushed, and um, I'm not enjoying Marvel as much as I used to. Like, I never have been a huge Marvel fan anyways, but I dislike it even more now.
And then I tried to force feed Daredevil down your throat, and it's just like it's not catching on.
See, I enjoyed the first episode. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say it was my favorite at all by any means, but the second, you get me during the week, and when I'm getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work, I ain't got time to sit there and watch an hour-long episode at 10 o'clock at night. You know better than that.
Unless it's something you like.
Right. No, I mean, if it's like Grey's Anatomy or stuff that I'm interested in, yeah, like you said, that's different. It's not something that's 100% catching my eye.
And the thing about those episodes, I like them because it was made by Netflix. And Netflix, because the last one you watched a little pieces of it, they make more grittier stuff than Disney. And it's like, those were the shows that tied me in. But enough about that. Finishing up with that, I want to thank all the people that listen, people that contribute, sharing, giving us good reviews on Spotify, Apple, and Google, and all the other RSS feeds for podcasting. Thank you guys for taking the time and listening. And
yes, because every single like, share, follow, any type of interaction that you give us, it helps. I know we've had this discussion before, and someone has said that, likes and shares don't matter. but they matter to me, and it does help get back out there to other people. I mean, just because you might not like the episode or, you know, it's not your topic, that's fine. I don't care if you don't listen, but hit us with a like and a share. Maybe you'll have somebody in your newsfeed that is going to enjoy it.
And to our TikTok listeners, I want to say to all of our TikTok listeners, the people that follow us over there, a huge thank you because we have seen a surge in our show from TikTok. And yeah, I've been putting out too much content, but when I do put out content and batch it and do two things back to back, for some strange reason, you guys come out in groves and in herds and you like, and then the translation over to the podcast is slow sometimes, but it has been very good this week. So big shout out to you guys.
And
And
make sure you follow us over there because um, once we hit 1,000 followers on the WB Uncommonplace TikTok, then we can do some actual live videos um, when we do our next trip for work. I think we're going to. I mean, we're still going to be in West Virginia for this next one, but who knows where the next one's going to be? You know, hopefully we get some pretty cool locations, and we would love to share that experience with you guys. And we're almost halfway there. I think you're at 400 and something. We're over 450. So make sure if you have 10 accounts, follow us on all 10 accounts. You know, if you're your mom, your daughter, your son, your kids, aunts, uncles, whatever, if they have TikToks, um, you know, go on there and say, hey, just follow them. If you don't sit there and watch our whole videos, that's fine. I don't care about that. We just need to get them followers up.
yeah, no doubt in that. And one big shout out that I'd like to give is to Katie from Two Girls in a Podcast, a show about Disney topics and all kinds of stuff like that. She has been amazing when it comes to following us on everything. She's one of the only people that like every single thing. So big shout out to her. Big shout out to one other person in general, my mama. My mama comes through and likes everything.
Yep.
And to everyone else, thank you for listening. And Stacey and I will be signing off.